All right, everyone. For tonight's video, I just wanted to go over yung mga bagong detalye na lumabas sa Citicore Energy REIT or CREIT na IPO, no? Lumabas na yung final price, nagkaroon ng mga changes along the way. So I just wanted to make sure na mai-release sa inyo tong information na to para you can make a more informed decision whether or not this is an IPO or an REIT that you would be personally interested in, no? Okay, so let's start. So first, as always, mga key details natin. So yung number of shares that are being offered nag-iba ng konti. Yung 1 billion na primary common shares, more or less pareho pa rin, no? Pero kumonti yung secondary common shares that are being offered. Yung 1.46 billion na nakalagay dyan, kasama na dyan yung potential over allotment. Okay? Now, the offer period will still be from February 2 to February 8, 2022, with the listing date still being at February 17, 2022. Okay? Now, the offer price has been reduced substantially. Nung una, sabi, up to mga 3.15, diba? Ngayon, ang final offer price natin will be 2.55 pesos. Again, how you look at this depends on your personal point of view, your personality, no? You can look at it as a glass half full or glass half empty type of situation. Pwede nyo sabihin na, uy, mabibili ko to ng mas mura than I anticipated, or pwede nyo rin sabihin na baka kinakabahan sila kasi not only did they reduce the number of shares being sold, they also reduced yung offer price, yung final price. So again, that's completely up to you, no? How you view things, what type of investor/trader you are, and so on. Now, lagi na kasi itong tinatanong these days na uso. But yes, merong stabilizing agent or stabilization fund etong Citicore REIT, no, or yung CREIT. Okay? Next, again, ang joint global coordinator natin for this will be Unicapital Inc. and BDO Capital and Investment Corp. The lead underwriter is Unicapital Inc. And then the joint lead local underwriters will be BDO Capital and Investment Corp. Along with PNB Capital and Investment Corp. Now, I always say that you should do your due diligence sa historical performance ng mga underwriters ng isang IPO, no? So, I'm going to remind you of that again. Now, be sure to check yung mga historical performance nila kasi usually, may clues doon or may indicator on how well na magpa-perform yung mga current and future endeavors nila. Now, I often get a question, saan ko ba ito pwedeng mahanap? Unfortunately, walang listahan, no? Wala yung nakalagay na, okay, itong BDO Capital, ito lahat ng ginawa nila, tapos kunyari, may cross-coordination effort with ganyan or whatever, ito yung resulta. Walang ganon. If you want one, you're gonna have to build one. But for research purposes, kung gusto nyo talagang hanapin, you don't have to go back too far. Hindi naman kailangan maging sobrang extreme. You can just simply Google yung mga nag-IPO or FOO or SRO within the past 5, 6, 7 years. More if you like. Diba? Makikita nyo naman yung mga pangalan. Tapos, pagka ginugol nyo sila, I'm sure na nakalagay doon kung sino yung mga underwriter sila so you can start compiling a matrix, no? Another way you can do it is through PSE Edge. Sa mga hindi pa po nakakaalam or nakagamit ng PSE Edge, I'll include the link to that site in the description box below. Alright? So, dati, ang primary-secondary split natin was 31-60 something, no? Ngayon, naging 42-58. Sorry, may typo pala ako. That should be 42-58 primary-secondary split. Sa mga kinakabahan na bakit mas malaki yung secondary component kaysa na yung primary component, I would just like to remind you na at least dito, medyo quote-unquote normal lang yon. Like yung REIT, the primary offer component was only 10%. And in fact, sa DDMPR, 100% secondary component siya. Okay? Now, for the proceeds, all primary proceeds will be used to acquire property. Okay? Tapos yung projected dividend yields natin, tumaas. So previously, it was around 5.7%. Ngayon yung projected is 7.06%. So ito po yung pinakamataas na projected dividend yields na meron tayo currently, higher than yung DDMPR. DDMPR is, if I'm not mistaken, around 6.2, 6.3%, no? So ito, mas mataas pa doon. Now, before everyone gets too excited, I would just like to point out na despite the fact na yung DDMPR yung pinakamataas dati, siya rin yung pinaka-laggard. Diba? Sa mga REITs, wala talaga siyang capital appreciation. Baksak siya, no? So, just because siya yung pinakamataas sa projected dividend yields is not a guarantee na, okay, lilipad na yan. Alright? So, CREIT leases its land to solar power plants that are owned by Citicore affiliated companies. This will be our first non-office building na REIT, no? Meaning, normally kasi yung mga REIT na at least nare-release dito, nakatie in with yung mga office buildings, di ba? Whether that's Mega World, Ayala, and what have you. So ito, it will be a non-office building REIT. CREIT, or Citicore, already owns 5 properties. And they plan to acquire 2 additional properties with yung kikitain nga nila from this IPO. Yung mga 5 properties na yon naka-lease out na. So, CREIT earns a base lease rate, okay, plus a variable lease rate that is equal to 50% of the incremental gross revenue earned by the lessee from any excess of its actual energy generation for the current fiscal year over its base revenue. Okay, so pinapakita lang nito kung saan nila kinukuha yung potential na kikitain nila, which subsequently results kung magkano yung makukuha natin sa dividends. Alright? Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. This is from Vahan Janjijan, and hanggang ngayon hindi ko pa rin alam paano i-pronounce yung pangalan niya, no? But sabi nga niya, if you can get an IPO, don't buy it. Only buy IPOs you can't get. Ibig lang sabihin nito is kapag ka-tepid or mahina yung interest ng market sa isang particular na IPO, then highly likely you should be tepid as well. Okay, kasi nga walang interest, walang heat, walang init, no? Pero pag hot na hot yung IPO, then that increases the odds na mas maganda yung simula niya at the very least. Okay? Now, dumating na po tayo sa portion ng video where I give my thoughts on whether or not this is something I'm personally interested in. Okay? But first, a few caveats. Number 1, paalala lang po, lagi ko to sinasabi, na just because mataas yung percentage ng dividends na binibigay supposedly ng isang REIT, it doesn't necessarily mean na malaki yung amount na makukuha natin. At the end of the day, nakatie in pa rin po yun do sa earnings ng company. Kung mababa or walang earnings yung company, it will affect your bottom line. Okay? Lalo na if you're just in it for the dividends. Bibili ka, iiwan mo lang yung pera mo doon, tas hindi ka gaano concerned sa capital appreciation per se. I mean, syempre, it's nice, no? But ang focus mo primarily is the dividends. Then, that's just something to keep in mind moving forward. That being said, okay, personally, I find this CREIT interesting. Okay? I think it's something that might entice me para pasukin ang una kong REIT, no? Whether or not that will be as a short-term trade or as a long-term endeavor, hindi pa ako personally sure. Bakit? Kasi meron pa rin tayong legal issues from yung ownership group that we need to contend with. May nagtanong sa YouTube comment section, no? Sa tingin ko daw ba magkakaroon ng epekto yung legal issues dito sa CREIT? Ang sinagot ko is syempre, lahat naman yan may effect. Hindi lang natin alam gaano kalaki or gaano kaliit yung magiging epekto. 'Di ba? The same for yung legal disputes. We always want to know na, okay, kailangan pagka may ganito nangyari, ito yung magiging resulta. Hindi po ganun eh. It's not like we're privy to the information na alam nung ownership group ng alam ng investment group 'Di ba? We're not. I'm sure na very few of us know yung exact details, exact na pangyayari do sa legal disputes na nag-arise para do sa ownership group, no? So that's one of the concerns I have para dito sa CREIT. Kaya lang ako hindi totally nagsasabi na, okay, interesting siya, kailangan ganito gagawin ko, and so on, no? I'm gonna say that it has piqued my interest. Okay, whether or not maakuha ako nito will ultimately depend kung mabibigyan tayo sa pag-subscribe natin, no? Syempre, baka oversubscribe siya, wala rin ako makuha or anything. I don't know. How big of a position? I don't know. Okay? Pinag-iisipan ko pa rin. Total, may konting time pa bago sa offer period niya. 'Di ba? But, just because I said na interesado ako doon, it doesn't mean that you should be. You should still do your due diligence. Make sure na aralin nyo, mag-research kayo ng mabuti if this is something that you would like. Lalo na kapag meron kayong particular na motivation in mind, particular na goal. Kunyari, hinahabol nyo is short-term trade lang. Hinahabol nyo is a quick in and out. Baka sakaling first day niya as an IPO pumitik. Nasa sa inyo po yun, di ba? Iba objective nun. Kung hinahabol nyo is for long term, di ba? Iba na naman ang objective nun. Diba? So, be sure lang na naiintindihan nyo kung ano yung objectives nyo, alam nyo. Tas hindi kayo yung nag-flip-flop along the way. Para very clear in your mind kung ano yung goal nyo and you can create a plan on how to execute that goal. Okay? So guys, dito po nagtatapos yung video natin on CREIT, no? I hope kahit papano nakatulong po to sa inyo. Nakatulong at nakadagdag sa kaalaman nyo about yung upcoming na IPO ng CREIT. And as always guys, maraming salamat po sa panonood. I really appreciate it. Good luck and happy trading!